I want to tell y'all how I felt with my child calling me to let me know that she had just got out. And I'm trying not to cry. At 5:02 a.m. on August the 11th, with my daughter covered in blood, telling me to help her. She can't breathe. That her friend got her. I have no anger against him at all. At all. My heart goes out to him, because let me tell you what y'all were doing. Some of y'all, I don't know who it was, but I was given a post that he had made maybe some weeks ago, with the comment of her saying that she found someone new, and then with him saying, oh, I found them too, and then there's a car up there with bullets and everything in the car. And then y'all got people laughing and commenting and sharing a post. Who checked in on him? Who asked him why would he be making such posts like that?
In the early hours of Sunday, August 11th, 2024, police responded to shooting incidents across different locations. When they arrived at those locations, what they found will shock you. The victims were 27-year-old Keira Massenburg and her 6-year-old daughter, Zoe Jones. Both were shot and left for dead by someone least expected to do that. The other two victims were 27-year-old Micaiah Paige Arrington and 30-year-old Devonte Ricks. Micaiah and Devonte were friends with good intentions who happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time and got caught up in the mix. What's more, a fifth person was also found dead. But how did things get so bad to result in this number of casualties? This is the story involving Keira Massenburg, Zoe Jones, Micaiah Paige Arrington, Devonte Ricks, and the alleged killer. Before we proceed, our hearts are heavy with grief as we acknowledge the unbearable loss of Keira Massenburg and her daughter, Zoe Jones, who fought for her life but unfortunately succumbed to her injuries. Also, to both friends Micaiah Paige and Devonte Ricks, who though survived, will forever carry the indelible mark of betrayal. This story takes us back to Sharpsburg in Wilson County and Nash County in North Carolina. Wilson and Nash counties have experienced crime issues, particularly with drug trafficking and violent crimes. In terms of violent crimes, domestic violence and homicide inclusive, the crime statistics report a violent crime rate of 445.8 per 100,000 residents. Sadly, this story echoes one instance of these tragic violent events. The first victims of this heinous crime were 27-year-old Micaiah Paige Arrington and 30-year-old Devonte Ricks. Micaiah had a daughter named Bella. Also, Micaiah's mother, Pamela D. Page, is an advocate against domestic violence and owns a foundation, the Pamela D. Page Foundation. The other victims were Keira Massenburg and Zoe Jones. Keira Massenburg was born on June 8, 1997. Her family is a very private one. However, it was well known that Keira loved having a good time with those around her, friends and family inclusive, thanks to posts on her social media platforms. Keira was in a happy relationship with 32-year-old Daquan Marcado Jones. Together, they had a 6-year-old girl named Zoe Jones, who was described as a sweet and cheerful kid. Zoe was a friend and playmate to Bella. Keira loved her daughter so much and was often seen in her video posts, enjoying good times together with Zoe and Daquan. But Daquan was not like other men. Daquan had a history of violence, assaulting Keira on multiple occasions, and also getting arrested on different occasions for violence. As seen on his Facebook with the alias Shy Shy, Daquan blamed his attitude on losing his mom and people not understanding him. Sometimes he would sober up, posting about how he would change and would prefer his girlfriend to others. Yet, he would end up beating her again. This behavior caused their relationship to spiral downhill as Keira got fed up and sought solace in the arms of another man. She affirmed this on her Facebook, posting how she had moved on. Daquan tracked down the person that Keira was talking to and shot up his car, hoping to have killed him. When pictures of the car were posted on Facebook, people made memes out of it, and Daquan responded to one of the memes on July 11th, 2024, saying, "I will be back to the ICU to finish the job, if you survive," suggesting that he will be back to finish the job in case the victim survived. The violence on Keira continued to one instance on July 24th, 2024, when Daquan greatly injured her. However, this incident also led to his arrest on July 27th, 2024, after getting reported. Somehow, Daquan got released later than expected, returning home on August 10th, 2024, but barely 24 hours after his return, he did the unthinkable. The brief period of freedom Daquan experienced after his release on August 10th was merely a precursor to a downward spiral of escalating violence. Within a mere 24 hours, the toxic dynamics between Daquan and Keira resurfaced, culminating in a domestic dispute on the morning of August 11th, 2024. As the situation spiraled out of control, Daquan's friends Micaiah and Devontae, who were present at the moment, attempted to intervene, unaware of the depths of Daquan's instability. Their efforts, though well-intentioned, proved fatal, as Daquan's anger and aggression boiled over into violence. Daquan shot both of them, severely injuring them, but something worse was about to happen. Daquan forced Keira and his daughter Zoe into his car and drove off, leaving Micaiah and Devontae to bleed out. Still enraged, he shot Zoe on the way and then dropped her off at a home in Nash County and continued on with Keira.
Just out of nowhere, he shot Zoe.
Around 5 a.m., deputies from the Sharpsburg Police Department responded to 141 Weaver Circle in Sharpsburg about a call regarding several gunshots. Deputies arrived and found 2 gunshot victims. They found 27-year-old Micaiah Page Arrington and 30-year-old Devontae Ricks with gunshot wounds. Both victims were taken to the hospital, but more was about to be discovered. As the investigation intensified, authorities proceeded to a home on Jamie Road in Battleboro, North Carolina, where they found Daquan's vehicle in the driveway. As they approached the vehicle, they found a woman later identified as Keira dead in the back seat of the car. As the units approached the residence, they heard a gunshot come from inside the residence. At this point, they surrounded the home. By the time they entered, they found Daquan dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. At that same moment, they received another shocking piece of news. A young girl had been found shot at a random home and needed immediate assistance. Authorities rushed to the location and identified the girl as 6-year-old Zoe. She was still breathing, so they took her to the hospital. Unfortunately, Zoe passed away moments later. The families of the victims took a deep emotional blow due to the devastation of these happenings. A GoFundMe page was created by Nia Barner on August 13, 2024, and the community of friends and everyone who heard about the devastating news contributed to raising an amount of $26,840 that helped with the preparations and funeral of Keira and her daughter Zoe. The memorial and the funeral service was conducted with several friends, concerned individuals, and the local press covering their final goodbyes.
They lit candles in their memory and celebrated how they lived, but the pain that sticks for them is wondering if they could have done anything to prevent how their lives ended.
As we reflect on this sad story, we're left with many questions. What can we learn from Keira's experience about the importance of seeking help in abusive relationships? What are the common red flags to recommend for all mothers to watch in such relationships? Keira and Zoe's story is one that will not be forgotten quickly due to the severity of the murders, but the next story is another that I found hard to cover. Around 8 a.m. on November 28, 2020, the deceased body of a young lady was found in the trunk of a car, killed in what is best described as a mysterious circumstance. The young lady was Briana Johnson, a 28-year-old who lived alone in a quiet, serene neighborhood in Houston, but neighbors confirmed that she was often visited by one young man. On one of such occasions, what this man did to her will leave you speechless about what people can do to those who they pretend to love. This is the story of Briana Johnson. Briana's story takes us all the way to Houston, Texas. a city infamous for its dark history of violent crime, a gruesome homicide case unfolds in one of its southeastern neighborhoods, shrouded in the city's eerie contrast of southern hospitality and urban decay. Briana is consumed in this decay. Although not much is known about Briana's personal and family background, she was born in 1992 in the city of Los Angeles, California, but lived in Houston, Texas. Nicknamed Anna, Briana was known as a fun, loving, and confident lady by family and friends. She has an aunt named Briana Johnson who represented the family in this time of mourning. Briana went to Carson High School and was a graduate of Texas Southern University, where she studied administration of justice. Accounts from Briana's friends suggested that she always talked about working in places where she could positively impact the lives of others. But it is not yet known if she at any point in time landed her dream job. Nonetheless, Briana was active on social media. She opened a YouTube channel, Big Body Bri, where she shared her passion for makeup and also posted daily vlogs about her life. A startling contrast has emerged between Briana's public online persona and the tragic events that unfolded. All her social media handles, including her Twitter and Instagram profiles, were filled with loved-up photos, videos, and posts showcasing the lavish gifts she received from her boyfriend, Victor Campbell Jr., including their extravagant shopping sprees, an activity she loved. In a haunting coincidence, Briana's final post on November 22, 2022, captured a romantic dinner date with Campbell. The video revealed a rather indifferent Campbell quietly eating across from her, while Briana shared her excitement about future plans, including relocating to Atlanta. This online artifact has left many wondering if something Briana said or did contributed to her untimely demise. Early in the morning of November 28, 2020, troopers of the Texas Department of Public Safety received a radio call about a reckless driver driving dangerously on the highway. A DPS trooper observed the car moving at a very high speed eastbound. The trooper activated his marked patrol vehicle's light and chased down the white Honda, still driving recklessly fast, and caught up with the car. But a shocking moment was about to happen. Near Farm to Market Road 365, the trooper pulled the now slowed down white Honda to the right for a traffic stop, which the occupant of the car seemed to obey. However, just as the car seemed to come to a stop at the side of the road, it immediately picked up speed again, signaling the beginning of a car chase, one which the trooper dutifully obliged. The chase, which began in Chambers County, saw more troopers join the pack as the Honda continued eastbound on the highway. Fortunately, the chase came to an end in Beaumont, as the white Honda got involved in a crash with another car near St. Mark's Episcopal Church Treasure House's resale shop off North Street. By the time troopers surrounded the car, they found Campbell, the driver of the white Honda, unconscious and rushed him to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Thankfully, the occupant of the second vehicle was fine, but the troopers were about to discover something they did not expect. As per protocol, the DPS troopers were tasked with conducting a thorough inventory of Campbell's damaged vehicle. But nothing could have prepared them for the unsettling discovery that awaited them. As they opened the trunk of the white Honda, they were met with a gruesome and chilling sight: the lifeless body of a woman lodged in the cramped and dark space. What was initially just a traffic chase now metamorphosed into a more serious situation as an investigation led by the Department of Public Safety, the Texas Rangers, Houston Police, and the Beaumont Police Department was launched to ascertain facts surrounding the discovery. According to preliminary reports of the investigation, analysis of the crash scene revealed items that linked Briana and Campbell back to Briana's address in Houston. The investigation then shifted to her duplex as the investigation progressed, after obtaining a court warrant to search the house. Thankfully, there were surveillance cameras in her home, revealing some interesting details to the investigators. Information from the reports put Briana arriving at her home in her Honda at about 5:27 p.m. the previous day. Campbell was also said to have entered and exited the house too, But there was another interesting discovery. Cameras also captured another woman arriving in the same apartment at about 5.5 hours later, but was in the apartment for just about 15 minutes before leaving. What did the woman see, and what did she know? As a key witness in the investigation, the woman came forward with a chilling account, revealing to investigators that she encountered Victor Campbell inside the residence. But notably, Briana was nowhere to be seen. Furthermore, she recalled being struck by the overwhelming odor of cleaning products wafting from Campbell's bedroom as he emerged, leaving a haunting impression that suggested a frantic attempt to conceal evidence. As if someone had hastily cleaned the room, but CCTV had recorded another chilling scene they were about to see. Surveillance footage showed Campbell backing up Briana's car to her door early Saturday morning at around 4:55 a.m., which was the day of the crash, and loading what seemed to be a wrapped-up heavy object into the trunk of the car. It was discovered that he had earlier covered up one of the surveillance cameras with a sheet, but failed to cover the other one. As expected, he didn't want anybody to see him move whatever he was moving. Further investigation at the duplex yielded disturbing evidence, including faint traces of blood. Moreover, a meticulous examination of Campbell's face revealed scratch marks indicative of a desperate struggle, a telling sign that Briana may have fought for her life. These incriminating findings, combined with other damning evidence, compellingly justified bringing Campbell in for questioning. As the investigation unfolded, Victor Campbell Jr.'s status evolved from person of interest to prime suspect in Briana's tragic murder. Following his release from the hospital, authorities took him into custody. Initially, Campbell was detained at the Jefferson County Jail without the possibility of bail, pending further investigation. As the probe continued, more disturbing details surrounding the apparent homicide emerged, shedding light on the events leading up to Briana's untimely death. In a disappointing and frustrating turn of events, Victor Campbell, who was initially detained without the possibility of bail, was unexpectedly granted a $1 million bond, to the dismay of Briana's loved ones, investigators, and the community at large. Though Campbell has yet to meet this financial obligation, this leaves many wondering if justice will truly be served.
Bonds on any of the charges. So we don't plan on him getting out, and I can't imagine any judge with the facts the way they are reducing or setting a bond.
In his defense, Campbell claimed to have no recollection of the incident of both November 27th and November 28th, 2020, including the police chase. However, pending a conclusive investigation, he was to face several charges, such as driving while intoxicated, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. The police department also suggested that additional felony charges may be added, but solicited the aid of members of the public to come forward if they had any information that could help with the investigation.
At this time, we're just asking that if the public has any information that could help with this investigation, that they please come forward. The phone numbers where you can reach us is either at the Homicide Division, which is 713-308-3600. You can also call the Crime Stoppers tip line at 713-222-TIPS.
According to the department, the 2020 lockdown was a stumbling block, causing progress on an investigation to be slowed, coupled with an additional pileup of cases. In a heart-wrenching appeal, Briana Johnson has launched a GoFundMe campaign on behalf of the grieving family, seeking urgent financial support to ensure their beloved Briana receives a dignified farewell. With a target of $15,000, the funds will be utilized to cover the costs of transporting Briana's body back to her hometown and providing a proper funeral service, as the family was not equipped with life insurance to cater to these unforeseen expenses. Though the case is still to be decided on in court, an autopsy was conducted on Briana and the cause of death was found to be strangulation. This revelation brought more questions than answers about how a seemingly lovely couple could be so distraught to the extent of strangling their partner. Tiffany Goodman, Briana's Texas Southern University classmate, questioned the reason why a seemingly cool couple could be caught up in the wake of such a murder case.
She was a very confident and educated black woman. I just don't know what was the cause behind, her tragic incident.
Could it be that there was an underlying cause to whatever happened that day in Briana's duplex? Though all fingers point to Campbell as the sole culprit in Briana's death, could it be that he was not alone in the death? What if he is actually innocent? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Here are some other shocking stories we've covered on this channel, and they're even more disturbing than what you've just watched. I hope you learned something from them. If you like the way we present these stories, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. See you in the next one.